Jinx. GNX. Jinx. GNX. Jinx. GNX. What about Gen X? Nobody asked you! Hello everybody, welcome to Shelf Space. I'm your host, Rodimus13, and today we're looking at the Striker GNX, or Jinx, or Gen X, or whatever you want to call it. First, we're going to take a quick look at the box, and then we'll get to the figure. So, as you can see, got nice artwork of the Striker on there with its giant gun of blast everything. In the background, you can see some other variations of the Jinx that I believe have some P-Bandai kits. Some information about the anime, checking it out on YouTube or whatever. You got on the side some cool pose pictures of it. You can do this, that, and the other, as some people would say. Got the same artwork on the front, all the information. Some detailed information about that I'm not going to read because that'll take up way too much time. Nice still painted shot of the Striker. All the usual warning info. Same info as the side, and bluefin. Alright. So let's take a look at the figure itself, and I gotta say, he looks pretty darn cool. I particularly like these little thrusters on his leg. Just a really neat aesthetic here. He's got kind of a combination of angles and curves that maybe wouldn't be for everybody, but he looks really sweet to me, so I can't really complain. Let's take a look at articulation. Head, well, that's something I could complain about. He's got this big collar that's common to pretty much every version of the GNX Jinx mold, and it heavily restricts movement. And because of this extra helmet bit, which you can take off like that, he can't really even tilt his head up, which does limit his posing a little bit. Arms are on some fun jointing here because it is a modern kit, so you get a little bit of forward and back there. And we're going to pop armor bits off while I'm doing this. Arm, pretty much single jointed, so you get 90-degree movement. Wrist is on a ball socket joint, which allows for a little bit of movement there. Pretty much what you would expect from a more modern HG kit. Legs, you don't really have normal front skirtage, so you can move up pretty decent. I mean, he's still banging up against stuff. These skirts can get a little annoying. Knee can do this with this little flap here getting out of the way. And then ankle can do this. Oh, and the posability I keep on forgetting. He can not really do the splits. Van Damme would not be proud of him. These things are also articulated. And they can move around. There should be a ball. There we go. Can move around like this, and this can move around. And these little jet bits can rotate a little bit as well. So you can't get him into a lot of poses, but I think you can do enough that you can do him some justice. Like I said, I think this is a really cool looking figure. The only holdup really is going to be just the slight lack of articulation in some parts. But I don't know if I'd mind that too much because he just looks so freaking cool. Oh, another thing he can do. This little shoulder can thing can rotate around. Okay, let's reset again. Take a look at the accessories and stuff. Okay, so accessory-wise, like his primary accessories, he only has, well, two things. He's got his giant gun, which is actually made up of 3 parts. You got the original GNX rifle, and then a barrel extension, and this part at the end. And it's pretty cool looking, though the handles are a little bit floppy on mine. To get him to hold it is a little weird, because it's kind of this underslung thing, and the way he has to hold it is kind of a very specific way. So give me a moment and let's get this guy rigged up. So we're going to start putting him there. Get to do this while trying to stay on camera and at like arm's length. There we go. And that's how he holds this thing. So it's sort of meant like it's sort of meant for him to hold it off to the side and go bam, bam. Of course, the fun thing is, because of the restricted head articulation, like we mentioned before, you can't really turn his head properly for this pose. So it sort of looks like he's holding it but not looking at his opponent, which I suppose you could think of it as sort of a 360 no-scope like situation, but I'm not going to do that. The other accessory he has is, well, just a beam saber. Got a cool orange blade on it though, so that's neat. You have another beam saber handle here, so if you want to, you can actually pull off that and attach that here. So that way he's got like a giant beam bayonet thing going, or you could think of it as a blast effect. Something like that. I don't know if I'm going to be using the beam sabers on this guy very much, because he does look pretty cool with his cannon, even if you can't really get him in a good position to use it. You're off center, dude. There. Let's see. Here's the other interesting thing about this figure. Some people will think of this as a really big negative. Me, I think of it as potential. He's got leftover bits. Like most of the Build series Gundams, I almost said Zoids for some reason, wow. He's based off of a older kit. So he's got pieces left over from that build. So like here you got parts of the like big cannon that the original Jinx came with. Some parts of the armor and thrusters. Armors. You got a GN drive right there. Extra polycaps, but that's not surprising. And you can even actually build the actual Jinx shield if you really wanted to. And interestingly enough, this is a part that's unique to the Striker. And so you have a full-on extra shield like he has on his shoulder there. So yeah, you're paying for a lot of extra plastic that you're not necessarily using in the kit. But now I have a whole bunch of parts that I can use for further customs. I even have a couple of ideas of stuff that I'm going to do with this. So maybe see a video on that in the future. Overall, I really, really like this kit. The Jinx in general is actually kind of an interesting design. I'm kind of sad that I didn't give it much of a chance. But this, I really, really like it. In fact, part of me is thinking about getting another one of these things just to use it for parts. In particular, these thrusters on the legs, I kind of want to get one just to like take those and slap them on the back of another kit or something, because they look really, really cool. I do have some plans for this. I keep saying that, but I think I'm going to be executing these ones sooner rather than later. Anyway, that's the GNX Striker Jinx, whatever the heck you want to call it. I'd recommend it if you can get it for a good cost. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff. Check out my store. I got t-shirts. And I'll see you the next time you invade my shelf space.